Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here. This is like my Super Bowl, getting to sit down with the Raj Shamani. Can we give him a round of applause? Genuinely, Raj, as a podcaster, this is such an honor to get to share a stage with you, and I'm so excited to dig into your story. And I really want to start at the beginning. Today, you are India's #1 podcaster. You're number 25 in the world. You're an entrepreneur. You're an investor. But way before that, there was an incredible point of inflection in your childhood that I feel like set the stage for who you are today. At age 16, your father's health suddenly failed. You had to step into your family's business to support them. Can you talk about how your childhood and this point of adversity set the stage for the person you are today?
First, I want to set one fact straight. A lot of people think that at 16, I had no other choice because my father was so ill and I had to actually earn money to support and buy medicines and vegetables at home and all that bullshit. No. I don't know which media house actually wrote that and how they have celebrated into this. The simple fact was there was no point in my life where actually I had to go and support my family for money. Okay. The thing was, we were from a humble background. My father used to make around 40,000-50,000 profit per month. And that was a good life we were living. I just saw that my father got really, really ill. He got a diabetic attack. For 30-40 minutes, we thought it's a heart attack because he was not responding for a very long time. So that moment made me realize that I need to do something, because if he's not there, who's going to take care of my family, because he was the sole breadwinner in a family. So that was the story. It was not that I had to be on the road and actually do that. So point of inflection was I got serious in my life to go support him. That's where it started. The first thing which I did was I applied to almost every FMCG company I knew which was operating in India, because my father was running a soap manufacturing business. So I thought, let me apply, let me learn, get a job, learn how they've scaled, how they've become big, and then I'll come back to my family and start making this business big. So I applied to 70, 80 companies, the HUL, ITC, Imami, I don't know what all, every company, nobody replied. because nobody replied, I had no other choice but to join my father. And then I joined my father. He gave me about 10 or 15,000 rupees. And he told me that this is the only money that I can give you. Now you can either build your own product, join me, go sell, use this for marketing, hire somebody like a salesperson who will do it for you. I don't care. This is the only money that I have. And that's where things started for me. And that was the inflection point. Those 15,000 taught me everything that I know today.
And you started Javi Bear Drop,
Yeah.
selling this dish detergent, but there also comes a point where you turn 17, you go speak at the United Nations, and you start to explore this career as a speaker. Can you talk about when you started to feel like, maybe I could be a content creator, a media personality, while you were also working with your father?
See, the idea was promotion. It was not to go out and become a speaker to be celebrated all around the world. First, till I turned I think 19 or 20, first 3-4 years, the only idea was, let me go out on stages, because if I go out on stage, people will hear me. And once they listen to my story, my stuff, they'll start buying from me. So it was a promotion and a marketing tool. And that's why I wanted to become really good speaker and get opportunities at stages, because I thought it's a free way of speaking all around the world. So I applied almost at every platform, every forum all around the world that I knew of. UN happened to be one of them. Until that point, it's very sad that I had no clue what UN was. Which is, it's embarrassing, but okay. So I had no clue what UN was. Somebody told me, I joined this organization, Toastmasters, I don't know if you know. Then I joined ISEC, I don't know if you know about that. So these were the organizations I joined as a student volunteer. Somebody there told me about UN. So I applied. And then they were looking for something called representative for UNIDO, if I'm correct about that. So I applied. I think 10,000-20,000 people also applied. I happened to be the lucky one who got chosen. because the first money that I made from my business with that I was doing with my dad, I actually donated that into helping underprivileged kids with their education and school supplies. That story UN really loved. So they picked me. Then I went to UN and started speaking. The most the most fascinating story about UN was my first ever speech there. When I was there, and you are in like a small room where a bunch of different people from different countries are there. Okay, and everybody is like almost like a polyglot. They know like 20 languages, I don't know how. So everybody is coming, they're speaking in their language, and then they're speaking in English, a bunch of things they're doing. So I went up on stage because I was so nervous and I was feeling so inferior, I forgot what I had to speak. तो मैं मेरी स्पीच ऐसे स्टार्ट करता हूँ एग्जैक्टली ओके हिंदी में. मैंने बोला मुझे बिल्कुल आइडिया नहीं है कि मैं क्या बोलने वाला हूँ, तो अब मैं कुछ ऐसा बोलूँगा और फिर एंड में ना कुछ सेंटी सोच रहा हूँ, मैं सोचने दो कुछ ना कुछ ताकि तुम लोग और नर्वसली सोचो कि मैं क्या बोलते जा रहा हूँ. एग्जैक्ट दीज वर द वर्ड्स आई वाज ब्लैबरिंग एंड देन आई सेड जय हिंद. There were two Indians. I think one guy's name was Gaurav, who was working in atomic research something. He started clapping and laughing. Everybody in the room started laughing and clapping. And then I picked up my thoughts and started talking. So that was the best story I had. कि कुछ idea नहीं था मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ. But Jai Hind saved me. It just saved me. And after my speech, everyone who I met, everyone, they was like, Jai Hind was so emotional. Like, wow, thanks.
I'm shocked you don't start every podcast saying that.
No, now I know what to say.
So at what point do you start to feel like this could really be a career of yours while you're still working with your family?
This also happened not out of choice but out of force. Me and my dad, we fought. And because we were fighting over business, because business became really big. And I used to handle all marketing, sales, hiring, finance, HR, bunch of things. Dad used to handle purchase and operations. And me and Dad, we started getting our factory fights to home. And my mom used to be like, kya kar rahe ho yaar? So I thought it's better to stop this right here because I'm young, I can do something. And I thought there was like an ego fight between me and my dad, which solved like in 3 months, but tab tak main nikal chuka tha. So that's what happened. Me and my dad, we fought, we discussed certain things. Dad said, do something of your own. I was like, why not? I started then watching Gary Vee at that point a lot. And because Gary was an influential figure who taught the world how to make your product viral or how to build a large company just by using power of phone. I was fascinated by it. So I started telling everybody that I started calling all my friends and networks and their parents, jinka bhi bada business tha, that I'm going to help you build your brand online because that brand will help you become so big. And there's this dude, Gary Vee, he's done it, I'll help you do that. Nobody bought that. Everybody said, क्या बेवकूफ बना रहा है, पागल हो गया ये, बेटा जाओ पापा को सॉरी बोलो, काम कर लो उनके साथ. But I was adamant, and because nobody was ready to give me, nobody was ready to become my client, I thought, let me become my own client. Let me actually build social media distribution, and then I'm going to show them that, see, here's the proof, do it. And that's where I started building Instagram. And then once I started building Instagram, for first 6 months, I was at my home. I would record like 3, 4, 5 reels a day. I would upload it online. And then I think 6 months later, I got a brand deal first time. They paid me 70,000 rupees for a reel. I was like, fuck, this is life changing. Like 70,000 rupees was a lot.
Was this Upgrad?
This is Upgrad, yeah. So Upgrad paid me 70,000 rupees, and I was like, shit, this is serious money. I can go to Bombay. 30,000 rent होगा, बाकी 40,000 बच जाएंगे, अगले महीने तक कुछ और figure out कर लूँगा. So I thought this is gonna be a thing. I'm gonna make lot of money. अगर एक brand आ गई, मैं रोज भी एक brand कर लूँगा तो मैं अमीर हो जाऊँगा, right? I didn't know that रोज brand नहीं मिलती है. So I was naive. I moved to Bombay. I started, and the first 10 days, I started calling people left, right, center to get a brand, because the same principles why Upgrad gave me a brand deal. I started reaching out to people. I found out that B2B brands buy like give you more money than B2C brands. So I started reaching to B2B brands. So made some money, and then it became a thing that, okay, this is serious career. I can make money out of it, and let me just expand into something. Until podcast started, podcasts like I used to do here and there bunch. Because I was recording reels every day, I was like, this is gonna get me some money, but where is it heading? I can't build something really big. So I thought, let me ask people who have built something really big. And that's where the idea of podcast started. So I started reaching out to everyone who understood the world better, who had better relationships than me, who had better network than me, who were richer than me, who understood about wealth. I started reaching out to them to start teaching me something, and we started recording that, and that became podcast. So at that was a point I thought maybe this is serious, let me pursue it full time. I mean, I was already pursuing full time, but I thought कि अब इससे कुछ हो सकता है. I think my dad still believes that soap business was a better idea. He still doesn't believe that this is a career which is going to last for long, but that's how it happened.
Wow. I mean, today with Figuring Out Your podcast, you've interviewed Bill Gates, MS Dhoni, Amir Khan, the president of France. You've sat down with some of the biggest and brightest leaders in the world. What are some of the key things that you've learned in watching them over the years?
Wow. So many. I'll tell you one which is absolutely every leader has in common. They eat incredibly boring lunches. They eat same food every day. I don't know why and how. Almost everyone I've met, the athletes, the world #1 champions, the presidents, the billionaires, they eat boring food. So I think there must be something in that. So that's one thing that they do right. Number two, all of them are almost like really good decision makers. Not good decision makers, really fast decision makers. They just want to do, like, if they want to do it, they do it. They don't actually think about it a lot. A lot of us, we think about lot of things so many times before doing. These guys, I don't know what they're made of, but they just keep taking decisions left, right, center. And even if they're taking wrong decisions, they back it up as if this is the best decision in the world. And they're almost backing it to the point that they're assholes about it, which is a great quality, don't get me wrong. So that's the second thing. Third, which I feel most of the people who I have had an opportunity to meet, they don't do complex things. In fact, they only do simple things. Like, they would be asking themselves the question like, what's the craziest idea? ये नहीं पूछते वो पूछते हैं खुद से that what is the most obvious thing that we're missing? And then they go do that obvious thing. So I think that's a very fascinating thing which I have learned, and I've started inculcating that in my life. What's the most obvious next move that I have to do? And that's another thing that I've noticed in them.
Okay, so now I have to ask you, what is the most obvious next move that you're going to do?
I'm pretty vocal about it. Everybody must be knowing it already. I'm a loudmouth. I talk about my dreams, my next move, my everything very often, very out loud in public, almost to the point where sometimes it's embarrassing because if it doesn't happen, people are going to call me out very bad. So next obvious thing is the world domination, going out in the world, being #1 in the world, being the most followed, most ranked, most viewed, whatever there is, whatever framework you want to put it, I want to be that podcaster in the world. So I'll be #1. That's the most obvious move next.
I think that deserves a lot of I want to highlight this for a second so people understand. You ended 2025 as #1 in India and number 76 in the world, and as of February of this year, you were number 25 in the world.
Yeah.
So, well on his way.
16, 17 months, I guess we'll be #1. The max 16, 17 months in the world. I don't think उससे ज़्यादा टाइम लगना चाहिए. अगर बीच में कुछ गलत हो गया तो पता नहीं.
Rod, what's the strategy to get to #1?
By the #1 strategy to become #1.